So, Packers, how is it going to be for them come the NFL season for 2020? Over what we're getting, Lambeau Field, the warm weather of Lambeau Field is closed for the time being over the course of what we've been seeing for the past, month, 2 months, practically a pandemic, literally closing down nearly anything except the essential business, except WWE. Uh, we, 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 we still care, right? We still care about small businesses, right? It's just, it just, it just confuses the fuck out of me how how the Packers how the Packers fans are still optimistic that their chance of still making the Super Bowl is just a couple pieces away. We just need to just find a few pieces for Aaron Rodgers, a good old line. We already got Aaron Jones, a dependable receiving core, and a good pass rush. That's obviously what we need. I want to die a Packers fan. Yes, the Green Bay Packers, of course, had some time shifting, some pretty good signings over the, big one being Devin Funches from the Colts, releasing aging journeyman tight end Jimmy Graham. Interesting enough, right? I guess. Uh, Getting injury-prone linebacker Christian Chrisley, I think this is a good change of scenery over Rick Wagner. Already talked about most of the offseason over the ongoing offseason. The last time I was talking with the Packers. Will Richmond, Tyler Everin. I think that I think it was pretty okay getting Utah State's quarterback. I guess Love would be an okay secondary figure. They also recently signed Trayvon Hester from the Oakland Raiders. He's a 3-year journeyman. Just 3 years in the NFL, you're already a journeyman. How? How the hell are you already a journeyman in just 3 years? How? You picked up Jordan Love, A.J. Dillon, Joshua Dorga. Oh my God, there's Kamal Martin from Minnesota. They already have. I think the smartest thing was, of course, to reach up on that receiving core, get a better tight end, pick up a great linebacker, because practically what they have is regurgitated Bears secondary. That's practically. I'm not joking with you. I'm not joking with you. It's just regurgitated Bears secondary. Damari Crockett, Mason Crosby, they resigned. I know he's a good kicker, but Jesus Christ, dude. The biggest thing these guys have been talking about is Mason Crosby. Huh. They still keep, of course, Devontae Adams, great receiver. He had a great time. I think one time I was getting pissed off because Devontae was going out of like 4 receptions, like 2 or 3 receptions, so 100 yards. Going for like at least several like 50-yard receptions, and then he got injured against a game against the Packers. Jarrell Alexander, you of course know Kyle Barnes. Of course, the big guy, Martavis Adams. I think there's some potential to go on this primarily raw talent team, especially with Aaron Rodgers still at the helm. Jordan Love could probably, because I'm not trusting that O-line. They didn't do much to fix up that O-line except a couple raw second or third stringers. Kevin King that had some not that premier times, especially in the playoffs. The time when they faced up against the Niners was obviously not the best in the NFC Championship. It was not. Josh Jackson, I think this could be a productive team. I don't think they'll play the same as they did last season. Eliciting out that the Vikings are a bit weaker over losing their, Minnesota Miracle over there, over Stephon Diggs. A lack of a defense. Xavier Rhodes boot out the door. Only thing being, notable now on the freaking Vikings is Adam Thielen probably going to get a big contract. Another few years of Kirk Cousins, a great aging tight end, and a pretty okay defense at this point. Yeah. Of course, we got Mercedes Lewis that didn't really show up. Sometimes we forget that we have a tight end. Jake Cumber that only caught I think 3 footballs. He's barely been notable except I think he caught a touchdown the time when they beat the shit out of the Raiders. That was the funniest part because we thought, the Raiders were gonna get a playoff. Oh my god, they got snuffed against the Packers by 20-something points. Lizard that got a tough hit from I think the head one time when he was going for a run block that did not work out as it had planned at all. Rough. It's rough. Whenever you see helmet to helmet hits, especially back at week 1 when they played against the Bears. So yeah, I couldn't expect much out of Trevor Davis. They got Reggie Gilbert, Justin McCray. They somehow got rid of Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery, pretty good secondary running back, and most of the grades were crazy for the Packers. And wow, a D for Jordan Love, the lowest grade. A.J. Dillon from Boston College saw his stuff. Joshua Darker from Cincinnati. Kamal Martin, the highest grade was a B minus. Was a strict B, and that was the 7th round pick. The second to last out of Jonathan Garvin from Miami. That's an edge rusher. And out of Miami, they do have a good defense next to TCU, picking up Vernon Scott that I saw a lot of because I'm a big fan of dominant defenses. Jake Hansen, they picked up a lot of O-lines coming in the mid-rounds. Out of Jake Hansen from Oregon, Simon Steponiak, and of course, John Ronan from Michigan. That's practically the best pick they did in the mid-rounds next to Kamal Martin. And pretty much the most disappointing pick. Probably not as much disappointment as the Eagles fans have with Jalen Hurts as Jordan Love for an unnecessary secondary quarterback pick for Aaron Rodgers, probably over the messiah of Aaron Rodgers getting picked after the twilight years of Brett Favre, and they have till probably Aaron Rodgers in his 40s. Jesus Christ, this is going to be the most exciting factor into the Packers season. Of them being a bit more innovative and being more of a running team, I like how the Packers played last season, except in the tough play calling times when they have a tough times, in the deciding factor of the red zone. But those were tough games. I think it was one time when they did bullshit and costed a game against the Falcons or the Eagles, where they did nothing and they messed up. I think 3 3-and-outs or 4 3-and-outs in primetime game, and they scuffed up. It felt like they weren't playing their real selves. I get that they were having a new coach, and obviously the old Packers coach is now coaching for the Cowboys, so that's gotta hurt. It's the toughest thing to know. It's the toughest thing, but I think they could probably reach wild card over most of their things. Devin Funchess is, of course, one of the best acquisitions I think they had over the point of the draft. I thought they could have traded Greg Olsen for something, and here they are, Week 1, Vikings, Lions, Saints. Week 4, they got the Falcons. The biggest one is the Saints. And probably the Vikings, because of course they know them the most. More than their last divisional rival they had. That was the Bears, that they thought, some idiot thought from Fox Network, from the NFL Network, that the Bears were going to go 13-3. And they couldn't even finish above 500, or at least sub 500 in that mention. Over a lot of things, especially now that, Mitch Trubisky's not even getting a fucking contract extension over his rookie contract expiring probably next year. They got the Buccaneers, probably the most exciting game to watch, especially for Tom Brady, now in the NFC. Texans, Vikings come week 8. 49ers, we snuffed them like week 12. No, not like, I think week 12 or week 11. And, the toughest schedule we had of the month over the 2020 season after coming off of like a 9-game winning streak. Jaguars, Colts, Bears, Eagles, Panthers come week 15, and of course, the Titans, and to edit off the Bears again, come week 17. Now, probably, see the teams that they might lose. And these are like, my opinion. I'm probably going to change this as soon as the depth sheet rolls out. We know how these guys play come the preseason, because I'm sick of people making these playoff predictions. And it's freaking May. The season doesn't start until early September. What's with you people? You couldn't make even your predictions come the preseason or something. I'm just making evaluations. And now I'm strictly going to predictions. I see them losing to the goddamn Chiefs, because I got them week 4. Joking, that's the preseason. They don't have the Chiefs this season. That's completely sad. They don't have the Chiefs. They have the easiest record. Schedule to keep consistent. And some instances that they fall off. That hopefully they don't. I need the Packers to succeed. For prediction's sake. My pride's sake. I don't do fantasy or any of that betting shit. Probably gonna lose come the Saints. They're probably gonna snuff the Texans anyway. They're not usually built up in the clutch. Vikings. Tough they don't have the Seahawks this season. They're probably gonna get snuffed against the 49ers first visit, and this is a NFC Championship rematch. I want to say Bears first showing, but I see them, unless anybody's hurt, and it's obvious it's probably going to come November. I see them losing to the Bears first meeting. They're going to snuff the Eagles. I see them with only 4 losses, in my opinion. Or 5. Thanks they got the Titans that look like they did nearly anything to, keep Derrick Henry happy at this point of the season. Yeah, see them like 11-5 ain't bad. I would, hell, if the offseason was a bit better for the Bears, I'd have them going 10-6. But I still see 10 wins in the future for the Packers. I felt like they did smart over already evaluating a raw but pretty good receiving core, getting a evaluation in their pass rush. They haven't gotten a strong pass rush since like the last time Clay Matthews in back of like 2011. Last time when they were threatening to finish off in the blitz, the Packers haven't been that dynamic in trying to get good linebackers. So hopefully it works, especially picking up the Browns linebacker. They have a reliable secondary. Weirdly enough, a divisional rival help, but and Aaron Jones, and they can split with Aaron Rodgers. So if they play their cards right, everybody stays healthy. That we can't know 100% that this team could be a 10-6 team. If that's my opinion, I hope they stay on top with the ways the Bears are having all this crap. The Vikings losing most of their major guys, and the Lions just being literally the worst team in the league. Jesus Christ. But that's technically it coming from me. Join the TST Nation. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more. This is it coming from me.